So this is the title that I wanted to see right here. This is one of the ones I was waiting for. There are a lot of people in Hollywood who are probably worried. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, they are. Because like I said, back in the day, it seemed like everybody was proud and happy to go to these parties. Hey, I love the quote from Denzel. You got to leave before the devil show up. Devil was already there. You can't go. You got to, hey, when Diddy want to party, you got to tell him no. I just want to see if Cat Williams, I got to see if he has said something. But let's check this video out, man. We ain't going to waste no more time. Let's jump right into it.
Is joining us to dive deeper into what is happening. Charles, I mean, shocking is an understatement when you hear the details of this case. What are your thoughts after hearing the indictment yesterday?
Good morning, Brian and Natalie. I got to tell you, my thoughts reading the 14-page indictment yesterday were that there are a lot of people in Hollywood who are probably worried about which Diddy parties they were at and what was going on. That's not to say that they were necessarily even involved in any of the things that are alleged by the.
He said what I hoped he would say. But look kind of nervous. Look, when I say if you at the party, I don't care if you don't even participate. My thing is, I know it's a lot of them that probably didn't participate, but a lot of them seen it. A lot of them knew. That's the whole point, man. You knew what was going on. And I'm not talking about people of the same sex doing stuff. I do not care about that. I always got to make that clear. It's not about people the same sex doing stuff. It's about the drugs. When you lacing stuff to make people unwillingly do these things. All right? So if you're there, it's not good.
U.S. Attorney's Office. But if you're at that party and it turns out that that's when he set up one of these freak-off sex parties, or that it was going on in another room and you didn't know about it, there's a good chance that you're going to be called by the U.S. Attorney's Office. And certainly if you were involved, you would get a call, because they're going to want to know everything you want to know and may even want you to be a witness. I just think, we're just starting to scratch the surface of what this case, this case is going to touch and involve. And the feds have said that this remains an open investigation. There could be more charges for Diddy. There could be more charges for other people involved. And usually the way this works is once they find out other people are involved or were witnesses, they bring them in and they sort of lean on them. And it's sort of like, you're going to cooperate with us, or there's a possibility that you could face charges. So this is going to be a slow developing a case here, because we're just getting started. And I don't see how this trial begins anytime before next year.
There are a lot of wild allegations in those documents that came out yesterday, including 1,000 bottles of baby oil. What surprised you?
My brother, that's a brother right there. I knew he was gonna bring that up, because that went so viral. Look. He asked that question, and look at his face and his eyes, like. Because I don't know if this brother was at any of the parties, but that brother like, I remember that. I remember that night. Look, man, what he said is true. It don't matter if he said you could be there. You could have been in a different room, but you was there that night, and you on tape. So sit down. We need to talk to you. All right? Yeah.
The most about what you read yesterday?
Yeah, I mean that, Brian, was a was definitely an alarming graph of the indictment when you read that when they raided, I believe it was the Miami home where they found 1,000 bottles of, and they said that these were items that were used at the freak-offs. There were also large amounts of drugs. They said cocaine, ketamine, Molly, GHB, the rape drug.
See?
So, they said that the house, according to the feds, that was stocked for these parties that were going on. And then to read their description of how Diddy, as they say, lured women into joining these parties. And they say that he would meet them or lure them, get to know them, and lure them in, thinking they would think that there was going to be a romantic relationship with him. And then it would turn out that they would be at these freak-offs where they would be forced to have, or drugged and forced to have sex with male prostitutes that he was bringing in. And that's one of the counts that he's facing also, is the transportation of individuals for a purpose of prostitution. So really alarming allegations laid out in court. Diddy, of course, has pled not guilty to all of it. And then the real kicker for him at the end of the day was that the judge said you will be held without bail. And that means however long it takes for this trial to begin, he will be in a federal detention facility in Brooklyn, and not a very nice one. In fact, a fairly notorious one. So you got to figure it. He wants out of it.
Nobody give a damn. He's supposed to be uncomfortable. I don't even know why he mentioned that. Not a nice one. All these drugs he just mentioned and the stuff they be doing. Nobody give a damn.
And he wants out as soon as possible.
We're in this era right now, Charles, of men with power falling from grace in Hollywood. And when I think about Harvey Weinstein, that was an open secret in Hollywood for a very long time about what he was doing with victims. Was this also the case with P. Diddy, that the people kind of knew this was going on?
I will say this. There were always been whispers about his power and how he wielded that power. But I can't say I heard any whispers about these freak-offs, and it's really alarming. We were talking about it yesterday. One, these parties had a lot of individuals. In fact, the U.S. Attorney's Office says that the parties would sometimes go on for days.
Brother, this brother works for TMZ. He talking about he ain't heard no whispers. TMZ ain't heard no whispers. But that's all they hear. Hey, man. I love how she said that. An open secret. Did I got to mention her name again? Jaguar, right? She's been trying to say this stuff for years. They label you as crazy, man. My goodness. They label you as crazy, diminish your character. Nobody believes you. Yes, bro. People been talking about this.
So there are a lot of individuals involved, and yet, and they say this has been going on for more than 10 years, and yet we didn't hear about that. So that means that all the people that were involved, according to the feds, that he managed to keep them all quiet, that nobody would speak about it. And that does sort of speak to the kind of power he wielded and the fear that people had of him. We're also talking about the fact that the beating of Cassie, which was captured on the hotel surveillance video, that was 6 years ago. And
as alleged, when Combs
nobody knew about it. Nobody heard about it. Think about all the people that were at the hotel who may have known about it, people who saw the surveillance video and never spoke about it. And like you said, we're in an era where when things like that happen, people speak out about it. So the fact that no one did, and that it only took this, really Cassie's lawsuit before any of this started coming out, it does kind of speak to the power that he wielded, and that the fact that nobody wanted to cross him.
And Charles, what do you think happens next in this case? Members of Sean Combs' family have been ordered to give up their passports. He's currently in jail. What do you think happens from here?
Well, his attorneys, the first thing that's going to happen is today, his attorneys are going back into court. They've appealed the bail ruling. And like I said, I'm sure he wants out, and that's their first job right now is to get him out. They've offered a $50 million package for bail. That was rejected yesterday, but they're going to take another swing at it today. And then after that, what happens, look, he did surrender his passport to his lawyer. We should say the way his team put it out originally, they made it sound like he had turned it over to the authorities. He had turned over his passport back in April to his lawyer, as did his children and his mother. And their point was they wanted to make the case to the court that, look, we're cooperating here. He is not a flight risk. And they feel like the U.S. Attorney's Office undermined that by raiding his hotel on Monday night and arresting him when they say he was in New York because he was more than willing to surrender. In fact, the plan was for him to surrender on Tuesday, and then for some reason the feds decided to arrest him Monday night. Diddy's attorneys think they did that so that it would look like he wasn't cooperating, and then the judge would deny him bail, which, as it turns out, is what happened.
Well, Charles, thank you so much for your thoughts on.
Well, shout out to them. Great tactic. Hey, man. Oh, I'm just imagining, bro, like the amount of people that was there and what they are like thinking right now. Like what's going through their mind. People like Jay-Z, Beyonce, hell, you had so many people. You had LeBron James at his parties. You had who else? All these rappers, French Montana. I mean, they said it was politicians. It's people like y'all see that. What's his name? Rick Rubin. Y'all see those all white parties he have, and like I said, you look at those parties, you be like, what the hell? What the hell he doing here? Why is he here? Like, you look around and like, it don't make sense, the people that they have there. Like, you wouldn't think that these people hung out with each other is what I'm saying. That's how those parties be, man. Y'all see that big old bed Diddy had? Boy, I had Chris Brown dancing on that bed. Look, man. Hollywood is literally panicking right now. I know it. I know it. Because think about this. They're chilling, going about their day, and you hear that, you go, oh, and you look, I don't recognize this number. Who is this? You either let it go to voicemail, you check your voicemail. Oh, yeah, such and police department. We would like to have you come down for questioning. It's funny now, right? It's funny because a lot of these people think they're invisible, untouchable. Now they're like, got you. Hey, I'm here for it all. I'm here for it all, man. All this darkness, this evilness, because, you know what I mean? The stuff this man was doing, boy, all these people that spoke out against him and got labeled as crazy. All right, man. Hey, appreciate you guys coming over and watching. Continue to stay tuned, because as this stuff come out, I'm going to try to be all over it. All right, peace out.